As I journey back to Indiana, I am the same frightened 13-year-old in TJ Maxx. I am searching for the pieces that were lost to me at 13, looking to find the answers to the many questions surrounding the tragedy and mystery that shattered a part of my family. What happened to Joelle? Candy, can you show what you kept over all these years?
This was in my filing cabinet.
There was some horrifying things in this film, of course, but also an amazing story of human resilience and love, family's love. Hearing from Joelle's mom, Candy, was really powerful. You could definitely see the sadness in her face and her voice when she was talking about the real Joelle and how she was before the kidnapping, and how she still sees glimpses today and knows that there's hope. But yeah, seeing the tiny cage that Joelle was kept in and hearing her story was so horrifying and heartbreaking. And especially seeing Joelle on screen for the first time after hearing about that was definitely powerful, but also not just because you knew the horrors that she went through, but also because, after hearing the horrors, I did not expect to see someone as put together as she was, and as, sane, I guess. Just seeing how far she came from that. It's amazing that she is still alive and sane and able to be a mother to her children in the way that she is. I thought that was so amazing, that she was so resilient. I loved hearing her describe herself as a mother, a daughter, and a real good friend. I thought that was really cool. It just really showed how far she's come in her journey back to herself. But yeah, I loved hearing from Joelle and her mom, and I thought it was also a really interesting perspective to start with Joelle's cousin's perspective. Such like a much more detached, not completely detached, but further away person to start this documentary with. But I thought that was interesting to hear her 12-year-old perspective as well.
What an incredible story. Joelle's story is one that needs to be heard by as many people as possible, to both the families that find their loved ones, the ones as fortunate as Joelle's, and the ones who are not so fortunate, because it is a reminder to never lose hope. It is a reminder of the indelible human spirit that never gives up, and the love that gets us through the most difficult times in our lives. Absolutely incredible. A stunning documentary done with such love and care that only a family member, a cousin, can provide.
Realize that it's a true story, and I like the way the filmmakers handled the interviews, how they added in actual news footage, and the way that they did the photographs too. They added a graphic where photographs were getting put up on the screen, and I think that was really creative and really well done. What happened to Joelle was awful, and learning about it through this film and learning about what the family went through was heart-wrenching, but I was so glad that it had a happy ending and that she was found and she was alive.
It's a satisfying watch with a great story about the lives of missing people. I love how the short documentary piece shines light on the subject matter that of missing people, and how several people will stop at nothing to help others in bringing back their loved ones. I love the happy ending where Joelle was found alive, and her inclusion to the story, so the viewers gets to see and understand and get a better view of her past and what she's experienced. It creates this wonderful emotional connection between the audience and the people of the film.
True crime stories are a tried and true narrative genre. I think this is, a stellar example of that, story area of like missing person, whatever. I really liked how they kind of did like the recreations of like when the people are telling the stories and you cut the B-roll and you cut to like kind of like pseudo recreations. I like that just to help the audience visualize it and help pull us into it. I think that's a great narrative technique. And then also I like the interviews of like talking to the people that were there, going back and investigating, and then the framing device of when I was 13, how I viewed it and how I view it now, and like going back and like retracing steps and all of that stuff. I think that is a great framing device and a great narrative technique.
I thought it was really considerate. I thought it was a great way to kind of approach something like this that is very, very intense, can be triggering. So I really liked their approach. I thought it was really, really well done. But then also for the audience, it kind of eased them into everything, with starting with like the history and the background and her growing up and the things that she struggled with before they kind of dove into the really, really heavy stuff and the investigation and the outcome. So like I said, I really liked their approach. I thought it was really well thought out and well executed. I thought this was a really, really intense story, and the reasons that they were willing to share, I think, are amazing. And to put that out there, to be willing to open yourself up to that, I think is really admirable. So I really enjoyed watching this, because, like I said, I thought it was really well handled. I thought it was really well thought out and executed, and it still felt really respectful of the situation.